Alrighty, guys. Good afternoon. Sorry for the little delay and the little blooper there in the start. I was trying to post everything on social media and everything. Welcome. Today is the 20th already. I mean, this month has been going very very fast, and we anybody nobody can stop it. So welcome to 2026. Is going very very fast. And so it's 6:09 p.m. It's very late. I mean, I had a long night. Well, a long morning. Night and morning. I mean, I'm trying to get my certifications for HVAC. So I had to study very late at night. And so I had a little bit of sleep, but I'm here. So welcome to episode 28. Just like I said to many streams before, we do stocks from Monday to Friday, and we teach you guys how to find stocks and everything. The difference between me and many other streamers is because a lot of streamers don't most streamers don't share their stuff, in terms of how to find stocks. They just tell you keywords just to get you entertained in that section. But I'm trying to help you guys how to truly find low price stocks that you could afford, right? And some money that you have on the side, you could go ahead and open your trading account and start trading with this little small amount of stocks. But you have, first of all, before you trade, you have to know what you're doing, in terms of finding the right stocks and analyzing them. And so that's kind of what we're gonna do today. I'm not gonna have a long video, a long stream. Is I'm gonna try to have a short stream, probably like an hour 20. So just to give you guys heads up, we're gonna be here for a little bit because we have some, we don't have a lot of stocks to review, but we have to scan the new stocks and the crypto as well. So welcome, guys. I appreciate everyone that followed as well. I see here there's 72 followers now. We're almost close to 100. Can you guys believe that? Like, it's crazy. Thank you also for the like. Whoever gave me the like, I appreciate it very much. And so let me change this screen here of gaming because this is not what's supposed to go here. Sorry for the bloopers here, but it happens. So let me go ahead and change that screen really quick. There we go. And I think it's already fixed. Not sure if I fixed it. Let me see. Stocks. Did it happen? Well, I'll eventually fix that if it needs to get fixed. Let me see. Image stock. Oh, this one right here. Okay, I kind of messed up there. Let me see. Boom. There we go. Okay, so we got there. That will be there for the rest of the week. Now on Saturday and Sunday we do gaming as well. So you're feel free to show support over there as well. When I game, we doing Lego Star Wars still. So I'm trying to be done with all the storyline, and we'll probably move to another game afterwards. If you guys have any other things that you would want me to play that looks interesting, then feel free to chat. Hit the chat and everything, and put anything on the comment section or anything like that. I would appreciate it. And any questions after I start, feel free to hit the comments or anything like that, or hit the chat. On my description, guys, I have all my social media panels. I added a few more. Very important for you guys to check it out is Pickaxe. And Pickaxe is a new supporting platform for Rumble creators, and I mean anybody pretty much. And so it's a new platform. Make sure to check it up, create an account, and follow. follow not only me but the creators and everything. Follow their journey. There's a great community coming up, and so don't forget to show support over there. And so let's go ahead and start off. Let me go back to the third screen. See if everything is up. Let me see if you guys can see the. Let me see. Windows. Now you guys can see. Okay, there we go. And so we got that situated. And if any of the audio is not working properly, let me know. I could fix that, and stuff like that. And so let's go ahead and start off. So first of all, what you see on the right, if you guys are new, is this kind of my, you know, everything that I wrote here is my criteria, right, for the market. So let's start off today, right, with today's date. Today's the 20th, right? We're still in January, and it's 6:14 p.m. And this is Pacific time. Now Eastern time is a little late, so good night to anybody who's trying to go to sleep today. So over here I said focus on market cap when scanning stocks from stocks under 300 million market value. My personal preference. So these are very low companies. I know 300 million might seem a lot for you guys, especially those that haven't not traded in the market or have seen any stocks or anything like that. It's a lot. But in the market, us traders, investors, and many other employees and stuff like that, this number is not much. It's very small company. Sometimes mostly in development still, and so yeah, these right here attract people like me, right? Many of me to trade them because it's very easy for these stocks that are 10 million, 20 million, total market value, total company value, for it to go to, and double its value than a $1 billion company or $100 billion company or something, or $1 trillion company. It very hard for those type of companies to move. But the ones that I'm about to talk about, they move very fast, and you have to pay attention and have to study, analyze, and understand the stocks, and understand your criteria and know exactly what you're doing before you trade them. And trading is another skill that you should learn too. And that's gonna come over time. It won't happen in one day. So it's very easy to trade. That's all I can say. It's very easy to trade. However, it, like, now, easy to trade, it means, what I mean by that is, pressing the button to buy the stocks, the shares, right, and to sell. Very easy to do. Now, knowing exactly where and how much you should buy, that's a different story. And you have to, make your stop losses and your key, your key goal for that stock, for that specific stock. See where you think you should take profit, or when to exit, when the stock is moving the opposite way. And so those are the things that you have to over time build, as a skill. And so that's kind of one thing that I cannot teach you guys, because at the end of the day, it's your decision, what you want to trade, and how much you want to buy stuff and everything. That's already a financial advice. And also on my description, I also have a disclaimer as well. And so let's go ahead and move on to this thing, because I don't want to go deep into that. But um, you know, everybody at the end of the day, it's your choice, how you want to invest your money and how you want to look into the stocks. So this right here, as you can see, for live trading and live trading pre-market and market high, which is not market high, market open. So let's fix that right now. Market open. And so right here, right, when it's pre-market, right, pre-market means it's about to open. It is open, and it's running. Stocks are running, but most exchanges don't open till after 8 o'clock. Some of the exchanges open around 8 o'clock or something like that, and then at 9:30, that's when everything starts fluctuating. The whole market opens completely, and that's when everything starts moving. And then at 4, Eastern time, that's when everything closes. Now it doesn't close completely like pre-market. It closes all the way. It starts closing completely at 8 o'clock. And so that right there is called after hours. After From 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock is after hours. You know, it's kind of like pre-market, and so you could trade here and there, but it's risky. It's a little risky because some big exchanges are not open, and people are not trading anymore. They stop trading, so you don't, you'll see activity, but you're not gonna see as much. It's very hard to trade under 1 million volume. After hours. You know, probably easy to get in, but to get out, you're not gonna have a lot of activity unless the stock really has a lot of volume. That's the only way. But any key terms that you guys hear from now on, uh any questions or anything like that, just hit me up. And uh some of these terms that I'm saying or that you see on the screen, they're easy to follow on Investopedia, easy to check on YouTube. I mean, it's not complicated. I mean, you get your definitions. Um, I could show you what some of it means, but I can't go into all full blown detail of it because that's not the main thing of this channel. What I'm trying to do is make it easy for you guys and show you guys exactly how to find these stocks. And so there's many platforms, there's many softwares that might do the work for you and uh you know screen the stocks for you. Now there's people that don't have the money, to get the softwares, expensive softwares and everything, and they just want to study a couple stocks and have it prepared for the next day at market open. And so that's kind of what I'm going to show you guys today. But you could use all this for the other softwares as well, because you're gonna filter out everything. And so so we're gonna start here by showing you this criteria right here. So at pre-market and market open, I like to focus on stocks that are percentage change of 20% and higher, and I'm gonna go through all these along the way, right? But first, we're gonna go ahead. This is also for the criteria, but it's for the market close, right? We no longer focus on percentage change at the market close because there's no fluctuation of the stock after the market close. So we focus on these criterias, which is almost the same. The only thing we took off was the percentage change. Okay, and so this right here is for crypto, is a crypto filter as well. This is criteria that I use for my filter, and so as well down here you see Twitter and X tips. This is how you should you could find news right on social media, especially on X or Twitter. This I use it mostly for Twitter and X because I don't know if it works for Facebook or something. So you have to pay attention to that. You put the dollar sign, and after that you put the ticker symbol, which is the company symbol that they have to use for the market. And once you press enter, you can see the information from recent to old. or you could search for specific dates, right? Which is this is what you'll be using for to check a specific date, right? And you want to always search from recent date, right, to old, right? In this case, it would be, if it's today, right, it would be uh 2026, right? The 20th, well, January, which is 01, and this will be the 20th, right? And then it will be right here 2026 January, and this will be the first. That's kind of how I could, like, break it down for you guys. But then when we move over here, right, we're gonna see here the stocks and what we wrote on Friday, because Monday was a holiday. We couldn't prepare for Monday, so we have a lot here writing. I'm not gonna go through this top ones because this is already what we covered already for last week, but we're gonna write what we wrote on Friday, which was only for analyzing failed to test Tuesday highs, still consolidation period. Will next it will break out, or will it? Let me fix this up because my writing no good. Will it break out or break down? We'll want to see volume pickup. So that's kind of what we want. If we would trade this stock, we would want volume. I guess there was low volume, so we're gonna look that up right now. And so that stock is Zaire with an X. Zaire, and we'll search it here on stocks. And so as you can see here, this platform is called TradingView, right? And we use this to study the stocks, the charting, right? And what you see here, right, the green, the red, and all that, that's the flow of the stock, the price, the flow price for the stock, right? The green is for the amount of buyers that bought the shares of the stock, right? And the red is the ones that sold, right? The majority of people that sold at that period of time, right? And this right here, this period, from this period right here, is called intraday, right? That's another key term, right? Which is, this period is the open of the market and this is the close of the market, right? So that's called intraday, and that will only show it would only show on the daily chart. So all this information is only intraday information. You won't see pre-market moves or anything like that. Only the intraday information. So you have to really study intraday in order to understand a little bit, where the prices are located and stuff like that. So, what else I could, any other questions? You guys could go ahead and shoot the ball and, ask me and everything. So pretty interesting here. After 1, 2, 3 days of consolidation, right? We have a little small test of high day, but it didn't went completely. It did broke out these levels, and now it's consolidating again off the highs here. So volume, we had a little bit of volume, but not as much as we wanted to, which is 4 million volume. And the average is 14 million. So that's not much. I would love to see 28 million or over than that, in order to analyze this a little bit more and see if there's some more buyers interested in buying. But this right here, once it goes down, once it failed to test high day, that right there is an indication that price is weak still. This is a strong resistance line here. So resistance, right, is when the sellers are pushing down the price. There's no buyers that want to buy it at the higher price there. So sellers are taking profit off the highs. They don't want to, some of these pending orders, buyers don't want to sell. No, buyers don't want to buy these areas over here. So the price gets pushed down, to meet up the needs of the buyers, and so Right here, the buyers wanted to keep the price in between these prices here, and that's why you saw a little bit more interest as it went up. But it went back down, which is not good news. I would have loved it for it to hold these highs for the next day. But right here, as you can see, I mean, this breakout, clown bubbleator say use a magnet to pull the stock up. You're funny. Appreciate it for the comment, man. Thank you for showing support. And so, as you can see, I mean, there was plenty of opportunities here. Clown bubbleator. Appreciate it. Make sure to follow and support Clown Bubbulator on Twitch. And so, once it broke out this line, right? Many people could have caught it right here at the bounce of this downtrending resistance, and would have got out somewhere around here, testing these highs, or it depends. Whatever your tolerance is, your goal, pretty much. And so that right there was a good analysis for the week. Yeah, we had a consolidation these 3 days here, so that was unfortunate to wait for some type of move, but that's why we made these lines here to see where the price was going to turn afterwards. But that was a good one, and but we'll take it off already, because we already did like a week of analysis. We're gonna start off with new stocks. So that's kind of what the analysis was. The daily, on the daily, I mean, overall is terrible. And as you can see on the daily, it will only show the intraday here. So the fluctuation is telling me it's still in consolidation, but it seems like it wants to keep, going up and turning. So this will be interesting to watch, but we won't have it on our list anymore, because right now, it's been like 4 days and the volume still haven't attracted buyers or sellers. There's no activity compared to the average. So we're gonna take this one off. Go ahead and take that off, and BNAI is the other one that we're gonna check. BNAI. And so on the daily, we have a green day, but it was not a strong green day. Let's see what was the result. So as you can see here, price went down. It tried to, it's not good news. It didn't hold these uptrending support lines. What are your thoughts on Lockheed Martin? Who's that? Well, don't if it's controversial, I won't speak on it, because I don't do politics here. Um, Company. Do you have a ticker symbol that I could check? Oh, I see MLT. MLT. Okay, let's check MLT really quick. Just stocks, not really the brand as a whole. Okay. First of all, price is too high. In this channel, we focus on low price stocks. Anything under $20, that's kind of like my preference. I don't focus on these. These are, if you check the daily here, the fluctuation doesn't have it does have a couple moves here, but I won't focus too much on it because it's not my area. Let's see what it did here. 35%. It took 97 days to get to 35%. Oh, I didn't see Sith the best say, can you check Palantir stock? I'll check on it, but I don't think those type of stocks are my preference. Let me see. Clown Bobby later say, oh, I didn't see. My bad. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. It's good to ask questions, anyways. And so yeah, this type of stocks here, as you can see, I mean, the fluctuation is 35%, which is pretty awesome for that period here. 97 in, you know, in 3 months. That's what I see here. 3 months. Wait a minute. 90, about 100 days. So in 3 months, it went to 34%. That's not bad for a company, not bad for that period. However, that's kind of, uh I'm trying to get 3%, 30% in a few weeks, not in 3 months. I don't have the patience to wait, for to get 34%, especially the stocks that I'm looking at. But it's a uptrending stock here, very healthy, super healthy. Let's see. I mean, it's been going. It started off. Let me see when it started. 1995, somewhere like that. Somewhere in 1995. So it's an old company, and it's very healthy still. This is a consolidation period. It did had a new high here. This was the point where it went a new high, but it gave it away. And it's still in that consolidation period here. So it's still healthy. If you wanna, overall of this, it's still healthy. It had its moments here. Not 2019. You got the what do you call that? A pandemic and everything, but it's still held high. So SPY compared to the SPY, it looked way better than the SPY here. Let me see, how can we see it? S&P 500. Let's check this one. So compared to the S&P 500, it looks, both of them look good. It had its moments, and this is not the one that I'm looking. This SPY. I don't know why it doesn't show it here. It's supposed to. Nasdaq. Let's put all here. There we go. There we go. So now we got the original here. So you see it, it's still uptrending. It did had its history. You got the 2028 crash, 28, oh my god, 2008, 2008 crash, right here. Back in the day too, there was a crash. You got the 2000 bubble as well. Those I don't know too much because I'm not from that era. I'm more from the 2011, 2013. That's kind of where I started before that. I mean, looking at them, but when I started trading, it was around 2011, somewhere like that, or 2013, 2012 or something. That's when I started. And so it's still in an uptrend. You had here, the pandemic was not that bad either. you know you have these recessions, but that doesn't define the stock, especially if it has a good health. These are the S&P 500 is the 500 best companies in the world, most healthy companies in the world right now. And so those get in, they put in a ETF trust. And so many people invest on this, as a retirement account and all that stuff. uh, these are more funds and stuff like that. So, but I don't focus on this. This is going pretty much a little bit out of subject. But compared to the MLT stock that you gave me later, clown Bubby later, both of them are healthy. Now MLT, that one, it's in consolidation still. But I, overall, if I would have looked at this, first thing I would check short term. What can I do short term? So a year from now or 2 years, you could use this. Would be the high day. Well, all-time high, pretty much. Let me see. I hate to mark this thing because it's you have to zoom in every time you gotta mark it. Um, so that will be short term 2024, and the lows between those will be here. And from there, then I could analyze what can I do, if I see that the fluctuation is still going up, like I see here, I would want to wait for pullbacks to try to, especially for brick prices like this, I would want to wait for a discount, you know and the discount will be the pullback. Right now it's almost at about to break out here, but that won't be the it won't be, I won't, me as if I would be an investor, I wouldn't want to invest money at a higher price. I would want to invest it at a discounted price. I think Warren Buffett say something like that around the lines, you know. So, you know, I would wait for a pullback, probably test these support levels here. All this is support level. That's why you see the bounces off of it. I'm not saying going down completely, but going around these areas here, and I would buy small shares from there, you know. But some people cannot afford $618 worth of stock, you know. You could say the majority of people cannot, especially the retail traders, like very low income. They're not gonna be able to afford these type of stocks only through options. If they do option trading, they can afford it. But option trading is a little bit it's a little bit too risky, because it's a 50-50 chance, of being right or wrong. Now, if you're right, you could get a good a substantial amount of money, but if you're wrong, you're losing all the money you invested for that specific contract. Now options is not, it's not my cup of tea as well. So, but this was it's okay, if you wanted that to be answered. So let's go ahead, check Palantir Technologies. So it's another stock as well, very upper price. I mean, it has good earnings. That's all I could say about it. Now it's uptrending. It's still uptrending in the highs. Now I would want to wait for a pullback here because it's way up high at this moment. Let's see. Yeah, I cannot define trend lines here yet. Probably very short term. And this will be the high day right here. I'm sorry guys for the rest of the stream. I know I went a little bit out of subject. It's just I'm helping some guys here on Twitch. So, that's a pullback. I mean, it's a little discount, but it's not as much as, trying to test these highs somewhere. Let me mark another line here. So I got that. This right here I won't count. I won't count because the one more significant is this higher one. This one had a little bit, it was bouncing off of it. It could be counted as a resistance level, but this one is more stronger because after that new high, it hasn't looked back yet. But those are kind of my lines right there. If it will break down from there, then we will see a pullback. Most likely could test these low support levels. If it does, will be a great opportunity for buyers to get this at a discount, and try to go, keep going higher. looking for more high opportunity here, for profit, you know. But if it goes down, that means all these people are taking profit at this moment. You know, it might be a higher price at the moment, and people are just taking their profits. I'm not sure fundamentally, you know, because I don't do fundamental analysis. I do more technical. You know, I deal with the charts and I see, you know, where the demand is and compared to the supply. You know, the supply of this is 2 billion. There's plenty of supply, but not much demand. 36 million is a little bit less than the average of volume. So that's not good to see. Now, if you see more than 3 million people, 3 billion people trading, which is very hard to see, very rare, very rare. You won't see 3 billion people trading on one specific stock, you know. So it's very hard to have supply more demand than the supply on for this stock, you know. So yeah, for my criteria, this won't be it. But to answer your question, is this the best? Palantir is still healthy stock overall, you know, and what I said about the bounces, you know, that will be good opportunity for a discount. Um, but you know, long term, I think it's still healthy. But that's pretty much it. You know, this is no financial advice, by the way. This is just educational purposes. On my description, you know, especially, I mean, on most of my platforms, I have a disclaimer. You know, I'm no professional. I'm not licensed by anybody or nothing. You know, I can't tell you where to buy, where to sell. I can only guide you and you know, teach you how to find them, how to find the stocks, you know, and analyze a little bit, you know, on the charts and everything. But to where to buy, where to sell, I can't give you those type of information, you know. But that's pretty much it, you know, guys. With that one, let's go ahead and go to the stocks that we were here checking. So BNAI is the next one to check right now. BNAI. And so BNAI, I mean, we had a lot of resistance levels here. Let's check the 5-minute chart. And as you can see here, I mean, it's still also in a consolidation period. I think what we said here, we said keep on watch, right? It did break out, however, didn't hold much, and now consolidating off the highs of Wednesday. Plan would be for it to bounce off a uptrending support and test highs. So what happened? This was Friday, right? As it broke out off to Thursday, it didn't hold for long, so it went down and bounced off this support, uptrending support. This is when we created the support, because there's more than 2 points here. There's 2 or more points of support. So that's when you make this support line here. And so this one on pre-market failed to do that. You know, failed to bounce off this support levels. It went down. You know, it consolidated pre-market, and at market open, it took a little dip here. And right here had this was another support level here, but it's more horizontal. It's more horizontal than the uptrending support. That's why you see the bounce. You know, it failed to go lower at this point. It failed to go lower at this point. You know, so it had 3 chances to go low and test these lower support levels. So, you know, once it bounced off, it tried to test these resistance levels here, and it failed. You know, it failed to break out these levels. But what I would have waited was for it to test these highs and break out, because I trade more breakouts, you know, than the bounces. But it would be a good bounce opportunity here. This one is not much activity here. You don't see much activity here. You know, the volume, look at the volume, 1 million volume, and compared to the average volume. So that's not good. That's not good volume. I would want to see more than that. And compared to the shares float, it's even less than the supply. So this one no good. It's still in consolidation still, but it's going now on the back end of the move from this trend line here. So no good. Let's go ahead and take this one off as well. That's it for this analysis here. And let's go ahead and check a new one with the new date. So the 20th, 2026 and 6:48 p.m. This is Pacific time, by the way. So we couldn't find no stocks on the 16th, which was Friday. We couldn't find, but we're gonna go ahead and scan for new stocks. Okay, guys. So this is where we go. There's many platforms out there. You got Yahoo Finance, you have Google. I mean, there's plenty of websites out there. On my Discord, I have a whole section, which is where I have all my links for not only crypto, for stocks and everything. It's all free. It's all free. I don't have no subscription. It's called the resources channel there. I put that channel there. But the link of that channel, which is called Warfare Trading, you could go in there, and I mean, you don't have to join the whole my whole thing, my whole channel, but you could go there and grab whatever you want from the resources center. And I also have a book list there that if you're looking for books to read on stocks and charts and everything, there's a book list there. I don't have none of this for sale. None. I'm not selling anything. All this is for free. Okay, guys. So just to give you guys a heads up. And so very good things there for you guys to check. Clown Bubby later say you gotta become a high roller and get into the expensive stocks. Oh no, not yet. I'm more in my comfort zone. What's been working for me for almost a decade. I started when I was 18. Right now I'm 34. So yeah, I'm what works for me, that's where I'm at. Now if I would have dig a little bit more into the bigger stocks, then I would gladly be open to learn about that, a little bit more of the fundamental analysis. I know a little bit about a fundamental analysis, but not as much as technical. I focus more on technicals. But I appreciate you trying to pull me there. Thank you for passing by. If you could follow me there and show support, I would appreciate it very much. If you have content as well that you're posting, I'll follow you as well if you want me to. And I also would promote your channel on my platform on X and everything. So feel free to follow and show support, as well as hitting the like button as well. So let's go ahead and continue. So Finviz right here, I mean, you could have it. This is mostly for people that have a hard time paying for a software. I mainly use Webull, but if you guys can't do it or whatever, you want to do it this way, then you go to Finviz. Now Finviz, there's only you have pros and cons, right? The pro is free, and you have plenty of different material here to find the stocks. Now the downside of it is that it's delayed. If you want to have live feedback, which is very recommended to have, especially for the pre-market and market open, you always want to see what stocks are moving. And based on the criteria that I'm showing you, is when you find those type of stocks and everything, it will be recommended to have like a live feedback of the stocks, screeners and everything. It could be either this platform or other platforms. I mean, there's many out there, but in this case, we're using the free version of it. So I'm keeping it very simple for you guys. So the first thing you want to do is go to screener, right? You go to screener, and then you're gonna see here a list of all the stocks that they have available here on this web, right? We're not gonna check 541 pages of stock. That's about 20,000 stocks. That's too much analysis, and most of these are not in our criteria. This right here as well, this is very short amount of options here to filter out for the stocks. So the way you want to like dumb it down is you go and press this tab right here, all, and now you see a big amount here to filter out, and so just like I said on my criteria, just like I said, we'll look it up again just to show you guys. In this case, we're not doing percentage change because the market is closed, right? So we're gonna focus right here on this criteria. So the first thing we want to check is market cap. That will be the first thing, right? It can be for you, right? If you're doing it by yourself, it could be either order on the criteria that I show you there. It could be either order. It could be, you could filter out stock, price, market cap. You still got to put them all in this filter in order to find the stock that you're looking for. So it doesn't have to be in a special order or anything like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and check market cap. So the first column we see here, market cap, right? And so market cap, the good thing about this site is that if you hover your mouse right to the word, it'll give you the definition of it, right? So the market cap is the total market value of the company outstanding shares. So plain and simple is the total company value, what the company's worth in the entirety. Okay, so me, I like to focus. I mean, there's plenty of options here. You got mega cap companies, which is $200 billion company value or more, right? I mean, there's plenty more. Me, I like to focus on the smallest, micro, anything under 300 million market value. That's my preference. And so if you check under, right, you see the price right here, price. And I like to focus anything from $1 to $20. That's my other preference. Now, if you hover your mouse over here to the third column, right, you're gonna see here, right down there, relative value, right? The relative volume, right? It says here ratio of current volume compared to the 3-month average, adjusted intraday, right? So what that means, right? That's a calculation, a ratio that they get compared from the current volume, right, in comparison to the average over a period of time. In this case, for this web, is 3 months. So they're comparing 3-month worth of data of the volume of the average volume versus the current volume. So that's kind of the ratio that they come with. And so me, I like to, anything over 5 will be perfect for me. Now the next column, you see here industry. Me, I'm focused on stocks only. I'm not focused on ETFs. I'm not none of that. Only stocks. And so also I want to here you see performance. I want to see stocks that are up. They had up moves. And so on current volume, this is the demand, right, of the stock. The definition, it says here number of shares traded today. Now they should have put here number of shares available to trade, but it's okay. That's how they want to put it, but it's okay. That's a good definition. But this is the demand of the stock, right? And so in order to trade, right, these type of stocks or any other stocks, you want to understand supply and demand, right? The more the demand and the smaller the supply, the company has to, pull the price where the demand is at in order to get more money. Why more money? Because they want to use that money to make either more supply or to reinvest into other companies, however, whatever their strategy is, you know. Now, if there's more supply than the demand, then the company has to uh, take their price of their company per share and meet it to where the demand is, you know, and lower the price in order to attract buyers. So that's kind of the definition of supply and demand. You know, you could, I mean, there's many other people that could give you way more eloquent way of giving you the definition of it. But that's kind of how I summarized it, you know. And so on the next column, right, you want to see here float, right? What's the float? The float says the number of shares available for public trading, right, does not include the shares held by insiders, right? What is this, right? Well, this is the supply that I was talking about, right? Now the supply, you know, a company had when they have a company, right, that is in the exchange, right, open exchange trading, right, available to trade. The shares that they have available, they're not from the employees working at the job or from the CEO or from the any other employees at the company, right? Those are more private shares. They're not traded. Now, when the company decides to release shares to the open market, that's part of their float. That's what this called the float. When they release, when the shares that they have released to the market is open for trading. Um, and so that's kind of how, you know, I could define it. I mean, there's many other definitions, many other ways to explain float, but you also want to focus on the float if you're trading the stocks that I'm trading. And so float, I like to be anything under 10 million would be my preference. And so that's kind of my criteria to find the stocks. And as you can see here, let me see if I missed anything else. So current volume, the demand has to be over 1 million, right? Why over 1 million of the demand? Because when you're trading less than 1 million, now you're at a risk of getting caught on a stock that it doesn't have no activity. Okay, it might have some type of activity at 500,000 shares traded or 700,000, depending when was that marked. But you know, if throughout the entirety of the day is trading less than 1 million, that's not a lot of activity, you know, and compared to all the bigger stocks out there, the known stocks, you know, even the stocks that these guys here on Twitter mentioned to me. Okay, um, those are more easy to trade, to get in and to get out. You know, but you know, when you're trading these type of stocks that, you know, not a lot of people watch, only those who are retail traders that are knowledgeable trade, those are more a little bit more complex, because you know, when you're trading over 1 million, then it's more easy to get in, get out, you know, no worry about being stuck on a stock. Now if it's under 1 million, then you have to be worried about that, you know. And so that's the reason why it's important to be to find stocks over 1 million. Now on pre-market, when you wake up on pre-market, you might not see stocks over 1 million. You know, you might see it probably 30 minutes before the market open, or probably an hour before the market open, you know. But if you do see them, then that's opportunity, you know, if the stock has what you're looking for, you know, in terms of your criteria and your strategy, you know. I, I would recommend to focus on anything over 1 million, especially at the market close, you know. Anything under 1 million at the market close, that means it took this company a entirety of the day to reach 1 million, and they probably did. In most companies that were under 1 million, they failed. They failed to attract buyers and sellers into their company, into invest in their company. So you know, so let's go ahead and summarize. I know I went a little bit too much deep in debt into explaining, but I need to do it to the new guys, whoever is looking at the screen for the first time, and looking at this and seeing what the hell is this, so this is a screener for the stocks, and so we're focusing on low price stocks. So right now we have one page only out of the 400 and something pages we had before, and we only have 12 available that went up today, right? And me, I don't like to focus on what the company name is, what the sector, what the industry, or where the country comes from, where the stock comes from. If it's USA or whatever, I don't focus on that. The market cap, I only focus on this when I'm filtering it out. Here on the filter. It's the same thing with the percentage change. I don't focus on the percentage change, so I take them out. You know, and so in one day, these stocks in a full day, they went up to 41%, 40% right now, 191%. So you have these that are way higher than the ones that I just had to analyze this morning. So that's the reason why these stocks are very intriguing to learn from. Because if you know how to trade these, then you could make a nice substantial amount of money. So let's go ahead and take this junk off, all these names and everything. So the way you do that is hitting custom, right? And so in custom, you want to uncheck number, you want to uncheck company. I mean, all this is personal preference, but I'm going to show you why for me it's important. Take sector off, I take industry off, country off, market cap off, P ratio off, I take the percentage change off, and I'm only gonna add relative volume, and on this column, shares float, right? And so look at this. It's way more clean, it's more easy to get to, right? You don't have a lot of junk here, and you can see the ticker symbol. You could grab the ticker symbol and search on other platforms like TradeView, or use it for Twitter or X platform, whatever you want to call it. You can see the relative volume, which is very important to see, and the volume, the current volume at that entire day. And so the next thing I want to do is I want to sort volume, right? So we sort out from top to bottom, right? And so right here, this stock, the highest one traded today, 262 million volume. For me, that's a lot. That's a substantial amount of demand for this stock right here, IVF, right? And so we could see here that it had a red day, but we want to see the move of the day to show you guys why it's very interesting to trade these stocks and capitalize on it. So IVF, let's check IVF. So IVF, look at this. I mean, it was running. This was Friday. It started running. I don't know why it didn't show up on my scanner. But it didn't. Mostly, it didn't show because the scanners are more focused on the intraday than the pre-market and the market open. That's kind of why it's showing up here. Okay, but after hours, it had this move here, and if you would have saw this after hours on Friday, you would have marked your this resistance level and wait for a breakout, if you're looking for breakouts. And so the reason why I marked this area right here, it has very close candles here, and this right here, is these colors here with the body here, this square, this is called a candlestick, right? And what you have outside of the body is the wicks. These are wicks. These are prices that, the price that it went up to that level, but it couldn't sustain. It didn't close at anywhere above that level, and it decided to, be traded more around these two price levels here. And so that's why you see the body a little bit more fatter, more bigger, and stuff like that. So me, I like to focus on, seeing like a triangle, the tippity top of the triangle, and to mark my resistance lines. And the only way I could do that is by looking at the pullback confirmation. And the confirmation pullback, I will only mark this resistance line if the confirmation pullback has two or more red candles together, like brothers. It could be either behind it, a couple candles behind it, or it could be a couple candles after it, after the high, right? Which is, you can see here, is the confirmation pullback. And so right here, I put the resistance line, and then what I'm waiting for, for those that like breakouts, is you could either grab it right after the breakout, which is a little bit more risky because the price could, show a little bit of its movement, and then turn around and bite you, you know, and go lower. That could happen, or you could wait for a confirmation. A confirmation would be waiting for the candle to close above the breakout level and then getting in on the next candle. Now, this right here is very extended, which I don't like to see. Too extended for me, you know. Also, this red line right here is a VWAP line, you know. And so you could do your research on VWAP, what VWAP is, but it's pretty much, it's the same as other indicators. It just check the averages of the stock price over a period of time, and so it makes this line here. But this line is, you shouldn't trade based on this line because this is delayed. Okay, same thing as this price right here. It's a little delayed. Even if you have live feedback, it's still a little bit delayed because it has to show up first on the tape. If it doesn't show up on the tape, it won't show up on the chart. So you have to look at the tape, right? You have to look at the level 2 or the level 3 or the level 4, whichever software you're using, and understand where the sellers uh, at what price the sellers are pending, with the pending orders, right? And where the majority of the buyers at with pending orders also. That right there gives you a little bit of leeway to understand where you should take profit or where you should enter into the stock, you know. And so right here, right, would be okay, won't be a good opportunity for me to grab on a breakout because it's too extended. If it would have extended probably like around this area or lower, then that would be perfect for me. And I wouldn't mind taking the loss here at this next candle. This my stop will be 5%. If it hits that area 5%, I'm out. If it goes against me. Now if it's going for me, then I want to get at least 5 break even, or I want to get at least 10% out of the stock for that day. Now some people are more greedy, and so they want to get everything out of it. So now if you want to be like that, then it's up to you at the end of the day. Whatever your preference is, whatever you're comfortable and you have proven it to work and it's working for you, then perfect. Now you don't want to hold these stocks too long because they turn around very fast. So right here, some people who would have waited for the bounce off this resistance level would have capitalized and bought after the confirmation, right? Which is, I like to see, did I close this? No, I didn't. So I gotta go back and close. There we go. And now it's closed. So this right here, this candle doesn't show me strength versus this candle because this red candle is hovering, is shadowing this one right here. That's not a lot of confidence. Now you could have still got in here after this one because this one hovers at least 2 two of them right here, almost three, but two is enough, right? It's shadows. So you could have got in somewhere around here, or waited for the next candle. And your goal would be either check hitting this VWAP line, well, a little bit before it, you would have taken a profit here. So if you would have gotten somewhere around here, so at that candle, 13% will be great. Or you could have, you know, be tolerant and wait before it hits these highs here again. And that right there, you could have capitalized as well somewhere around here, which is 43%. You know, it went up to 43%. So that right there, very short term, in an hour and 5 minutes of your time, you would have got some 43%. You know, if you were tolerant to pick that move and made a profit. You know, but everything, you know, it does. You don't learn this in one day. It takes you time to understand. But I'm showing you. I'm going back to showing you guys how to find them, and that's the key thing in this stream, how to find them, you know. And so if you know how to find them, the rest is way more easier. You know, me, I had a hard time finding the correct stocks to trade, and it took me a lot of buying subscriptions, paying for books, reading books, and you know, I went the long route. But now that you guys have me here on stream, you don't have to do that. You don't have to read books. It would be great if you would. That's extra. And it would be recommended for you to read books. But like signing to a subscription or anything like that, well, that at the end of the day is your choice. It's your choice. But right here, I'm showing you how to find these type of stocks. Now, if you want to look for any other, you know, market cap companies bigger than what I'm looking at, that's totally your choice. But anybody that's focused on buying cheaper stocks and taking advantage of them at a short term, then these are the ones that I'm you know, this is what I'm showing you guys. Hold on a second, guys. My wife is has to talk to me really quick. I'll be right back. Let me put this on a brief hold. Bear with me for a second, guys. Alrighty, guys, I'm back. Um, I know I've been taking a little bit longer for on the stream. Oh, I appreciate anybody who hit the like and show support as well. And we hit the goal today, so thank you guys for showing support there and hitting the like. That's all I ask, 2 likes per stream, and that is great, you know. So you know, we're almost about to hit the goal also of 100 followers. So if you guys could show support and repost and share the stream, that would be great. Because it'll put me out there. You could share the stream on Twitter, which is more open wide, or Facebook, or whatever you feel comfortable. You know, I would appreciate it. And so let's get the ball rolling. So I hope the audio is working properly and everything. So I haven't checked it yet, but it seems like it's working. So let's go ahead and go to the stocks. So that right there, 43%. That's the type of money you could be making very short period of time, instead of waiting 3 months to hit that goal, or a year. So for some companies it takes years to hit 43%. You know, very long, very long time. It might take 2, 3, 4, or even 10 years to hit this goal, 43%. And I'm not talking about these small stocks, I'm talking about the bigger stocks. It will take them years. So, if you want to go the long route and put your money into a very, healthy stock, that it is eventually going to hit the 43%, but you don't know how long is going to hit that point, then you're pretty much with your fingers crossed, hoping for the best. But if you want to make this kind of money like this very short term, then you have to get better at this, learn this, and understand um charting, the how everything works. Not only finding the stocks, but understanding candlesticks, understanding the charting system, understanding support and resistance. What is supply and demand? You know, these important things are very important to understand how to trade these stocks. But this is the kind of money you could be making, you know. And so right there, for some people that would have bought it at this point, they would have made really nice profit on pre-market. This right here, this yellow, from this blue line all the way to this line here, this transition line, uh that color is pre-market hours, right? And this yellow as well, this yellow all the way to the blue is after hours, right? It's after 4 o'clock. So it's very important to have this, right, when you're trading on, on any software that you're trading. Very important to understand this. Okay, if the software doesn't have pre-market and after hour uh uh data, then it's not a good software, because you're not gonna see where the stock is at. The stock could have been up here already, it made this whole move, and then when you're analyzing yesterday's, right, let's say, oh wow, it's down here, I think it could go up here. And well, I mean, for sure we would have never gotten this stock because it doesn't have no activity here. But if it would have showed some type of activity intraday, right, you would have seen some uh good demand and everything, then you would have, if you would have waited for the next day, if you were planning to wait for the next day to trade and you were waiting for the market open, and you didn't see no pre-market hours and it already made its whole move on these time frames here, then when the market open, all you're gonna see is downtrending, because everybody that got in these periods, they're already taking profit up here. So that's why it's very important to see this data right here. Okay, guys. So that's another key thing. And so right now, this stock, it had a good move pre-market and a little bit market open, right? However, it didn't hold. It didn't hold the gains. It went back down. It almost gave most of its gains. It only got a little bit more to go. I think tomorrow it's not gonna bounce. I'm sorry, it won't bounce. It'll probably go. People probably cover, those who shorted the stock might cover tomorrow pre-market or market open, and it might come up to nearly this area, but I won't trade it. Me, I like to trade stocks that are above this VWAP line. Anything above this VWAP will tell me that, it's still healthy. It's still strong to move. So, but in this case, it didn't do anything. Now, the next thing to check, right? We know for sure this one is not going to be on the list. Now, the next section to check why this move happened, right? We know how to find the stocks, right? Now the second thing to check is why it's moving, or why did it move, is to check the news, right? What did it say here? It says Invo for fertility 350% spike puts microcap IVF stock back on retail radar. This is what I'm saying. This move right here, it happened from Friday to Tuesday. 490%, guys. 490, that's 4 times your money if you would have invested from way lower here buying this thing. That doesn't mean you're gonna buy it from the way lower. You couldn't nobody could tell where to buy at any of this point right here. Nobody could have got it. It would have show up probably on most traders, retail traders that trade like me. It would have show up on the scanners probably up here or something, but nobody would have ever caught it down here unless it's trading over a million and it's above 20% at least. It would show up on the scanners. And so hold on a second, guys. My wife is talking to me again. Hold on a second. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry. Very important to answer. Especially anybody those that have pregnant wives. You gotta pay attention. All right. Always listen to your wives or husbands if you're women. But in this case, let's go ahead and back to the stocks. Let's see. So it went 490%. So guys, this is why why it's nice to look into these stocks, especially the low price, because you could take advantage of these moves. You know, some people don't tolerate the whole entire move. What I mean by tolerating, I mean, you know, when you're trading, right? It's like you're going to war every day. That's how trading feels like. You're scared. You're well, I'm not scared anymore. I mean, it's taken me years. But you know, when you're new and you're trading, you're off the tips because you're trading off with your money, right? Unless you're trading with margin. If you're trading with margin, you should be more scared because you're trading with other people's money, which is the brokers. The broker, uh, you know, could give you leverage, and so it depends on your credit. If your credit is good, then you get good leverage and stuff. And so um, you know, very risky to trade with that kind of money, and especially if you're shorting stocks, it's very risky because if the price doesn't go your way, which is the downside, right? You're short from the top, right? You short. If you were shorting, this is how you do. They give you borrowed shares from the stock, right? And then you get in. Well, as you are in this stock, you want to wait for the price of the stock to go down at a certain point, and then you cover the shares. You cover, and in between what you had versus what you covered, in between that's your profit, and then you give it back. It goes back to your broker. The money goes back to your broker. You pay off your broker, and in whatever in between what they gave you with what you gave them back, which is the same amount of money, that right there, that difference is your profit. So that's kind of how shorting works. And so it's very risky because if it doesn't go your way, let's say you're down here, right? You're trying to short up over here, right? Let's say it's market open and you're shorting up here, and you're like, okay, yeah, it's going down, and then it does this big move. That right there would have cost you your whole account, your entire account, plus extra, because the amount of loss percentage that you could have on a uptrending are way higher. There's no limit. There's no limit on how much you could lose when the stock price is going against you when you're shorting. So you could be losing millions to, whatever. That's why some softwares, they have limits to where the price, if it goes against you, where when you're shorting, they cut it off and they cover for you. You might lose your whole account, but also you will have to owe them some extra money, and that's kind of their profit, and you have to pay them. It's like, unless they could go after you, like the collection companies. So very careful shorting. Now if you're only doing longs, right, which is what I do, I do long trading. I go for long. I only do limit orders. Market orders is very to get into that section where understanding market orders and limit orders, that's already another subject. I don't want to get too much in that. I want to help you guys find more stocks, but understanding those things are very key things to understand. I trade on limit. That's my preference. I trade where I want to buy. If I want to buy at 277, right? $2.77, and the stock went up to 280, and it didn't accept my order, then it's okay. Then I could try to do it. I could try to do at 280. But if it keeps going up, then I'm done with that. I missed my opportunity, and I'm not gonna trade it because it's already past the strategy that I wanted to take. It's already above that area. I'm not gonna take advantage. So that's why you have to be fast, and you have to know if the stock has volume, because that's very key to know. You know, when it has over a million volume, you don't have to worry about, oh, it didn't accept my order. There's not enough shares being sold and for me to buy, and so I'm not, you're not worried about, oh shoot, I missed my opportunity. Now with a 1 million share volume, that right there is way easy to get in, get out. Right here it says 265 million, way more than the average and way more than the float. Look at the float, 2 million float. So there's more demand than the supply, so that therefore the price has to keep going up. So that was a tremendous move. And so people could capitalize based on the breakout, or wait for the bounce. This right here, you would have panicked and say, oh my god, they already did the whole move. I can no longer take advantage. No, you could have taken advantage. You could have waited for the pullback and bounce off this previous resistance level, which became support. Once it got broken, became support, it bounced off of this. Right here you could have took a little profit, whatever your tolerance is. It might, for some stocks, it might not even go this high. It might go probably halfway, or probably lower than that. But for me, 10% or 5%, that would be perfect for the day. Everything depends on how much money you're willing to lose and how much money you're willing to earn. You're looking to earn. Your goal is, right? And to know these things, you have to have a price. You have to know your price. Right now, if you work, right, you work, and you're getting, on every paycheck per month, you're getting like $3,000-$4,000 or $5,000, whatever it is, right? And that you use to cover your bills. So when you're trading, why not make it almost as if you were trading, as if you were working, right? How much do I need to trade in order to make this amount of money that I make per month to cover my bills? How can I replace my job? That's kind of the question that you should ask yourself. Or not only what can I do to replace my job, but how what money can I use to for my vacation? Let's say you want to take a vacation. You don't want to quit your job, but you want to have vacation money. Oh, my price is $10,000 in vacation to go on a cruise or do whatever, go to Disney, whatever you want to do, or for shopping. Oh, this is the amount of money that I want. Okay, how much can I trade, and how many days do I need to trade to get this amount of gold? And so those are the kind of questions you should ask yourself. Instead of just saying, "Oh, I want to be rich. I'm just gonna trade one stock and you know, uh, wishing God or something that I'm gonna be rich in this next move of the stock." That's not a good strategy. That's not a good strategy. You lose a lot of money. I have lost a lot of money trading, and so that's very very important. To understand. And so, let's continue, because I know I've spent a little time talking a little bit off course, but this is very important for you guys to keep in mind. Um, but let's go ahead and check the other stocks. So this one is a goner already. No attention into this. Um, and so in case this stock doesn't show any news here, right? This right here is fluff news. This is not giving me any information. IMVO fertility 350 350% spike puts microcap IVS stock back on radar. Okay, it's telling me what it's doing, but it's not telling me what was the reason why it's moving. It's not telling me. The last news that it had was on January the 6th. It say announces CFO and CBO appointments, right? So they appointed, they changing their chair in their company. So that could be either good news or bad news, and everything depends on how healthy the stock is. you know Me, I don't focus on knowing how healthy the stock is. My focus is to know whether the stock had moves before, it had ran before for a couple days. You see, like this one. See, it had ran a couple days, right? Now over here, as you can see, you see 130,000. These are not real. These are not real. This company never been at these levels. Why this happens? Why you see this on this side of the on the chart? Because this stock had stock splits, right? It had 1 to 20 stock splits on July 2023, right? It had a stock split here, 1 to 12 on 2025 March. It had a bunch of splits, 1 to 3 in the same year in July, another stock split here, 1 to 8. So that's why you see all these big numbers like this. And right now I can't go into explaining what stock splits are. That would be your homework. It will be good for you to know what stock splits are, but it won't help you in determining whether you should take a decision to trade the stock. It's not going to make any difference. What's going to make the difference is to know the supply and the demand, and the other criteria that I've mentioned. And so we know already that it had made some good moves, you know. And even though this price is irrelevant, the data is not irrelevant. It's part of history. So that's a thing for you guys to know. And so let's go back to the 5 minute. So let's check if it did had some type of news. And so it did had news, right? You could see here, right? It said this was at 4 p.m. It says here another news at 4 p.m. But what date? It says the little known fertility stock is up 15% in the past 5 days. Okay, but this right here is not no info. This is fluff. We call it fluff news. When they're trying to hype a stock, or when they're trying to like pull you in to check their type of news, that right there is just pulling you. This is no definitive news from the company. Now, Right here is another, this is another fluff news. It says why fertility stock IVF is trending overnight. Now, it's always good to open it up and see what the hell is going on, right? It's always good to check the news. Um, so shares of Florida-based healthcare company fell. No, this is yeah, okay. It says IMBO. Yeah, okay. Fell 14% to $2 after hours trading on Tuesday. According to Benzinga, this is what already happened. Now it says close the regular session at 237, up 900 and 191%, right? No immediate reason has been identified for the stock movement. Now, formerly known, Binance participated in a Lithium Partners 2026 Investor Healthcare Summit, with a virtual event featuring fireside chat with public company executive discussing a company performance and sector outlook. So, you know, you could see here, I mean, it's not showing much, but it did had an acquisition agreement, which is a contract news. But that was on December 2025, not too long ago. And so probably off this conference, it attract buyers to invest in this company, this summit. Based on this summit right here, they're promoting this company, and a lot of investors might have found some gold on this company. Might have found opportunities in this company, and they invested in it. So that could have been a reason. You could check also on the X platform. Other people would have said other things, but if you can't find news, then it's okay. you know it's okay. It's not you don't base your decisions based on only the news, but it will be also good to understand if there was news. But it did have some news, which it was that meeting that they had uh back in December, I think it was. So it did have some recent news, but they just hyping it right here. This news is hyping the stock. But in this case, uh that was kind of the reason why it went up, but not the entirety. It will be good for the company to put out a news put out the news and say what they did. Did they acquire new investors? Did they got a contract or something like that? That would be great for the company to do. It might do that tomorrow or something, who knows. Right there, they all this once the price went up its value, they sold their shares and got profit, and out of that money that they use off of those shares sold, they invest in other companies or invest in their company products and stuff like that. And so that's how the market works. But yeah, let's get out of this stock already. We've been talking a lot for this stock. But it was a good move overall. And so SEG is the next one to check. So SEG, let's check SEG really quick. So it says lottery.com. Oh my god, it had a great move right at the end from market open, but then it gave back all of its gains. It had this big drop here. You guys can hear me on the audio. I was scared. I thought the audio was not working for a minute. But as you can see here, I mean, it would appeared. It could had appeared here on this little move here on the screeners. If it did, right, you would have seen this right here, right? So right here, as you can see, you got the confirmation pullback, right? Two red candles together. Two or more red candles together will give me a confirmation pullback, and the highest point is before those candles pullback, which is this point right here. And so as you can see right here, my plan would be waiting for the confirmation breakout, right? The confirmation breakout would have been the green candle, right? Breaking out and closing above the breakout level. And my move would have been to buy at this point. This sole candle is only 19%. That right there is perfect. I would have been in and out very fast and got my profit and be done with. Some people would have held as much as they could. Me look how high it went, 125% in that amount of time, which was 40 minutes. In 40 minutes, you could have got 191%, which is double your money. You know, that would have been perfect. I mean, the whole move, the entire move was for the day from low to high was 300%. That was 300%. Look at that. Another stock that I gave you that went magnificent today. Magnificent. Now, the rest of the day just failed. There's no continuation for this stock. This right here doesn't attract any buyers to push this price above these levels here. You know, not healthy. Now, what's the reason why it went up that way? If it shows it on this platform, perfect, but we'll go to the Finviz and see if it showed anything. I mean, so you got a bunch of volatility notifications here. Now it says lottery terminates loan agreement with United Capital Investments in London. That's not good news. That's not good news for it. Let's check. So as you can see, it says lottery.com announces closing of registered direct public offering. Okay, so they had a public offering. That's not good news. You know, they're trying to get money, right? To either get out of their debt or, you know, liquidating their stock or, you know, other stuff. Maybe investing into another company, you know. That right there, direct public offering, not good. You know, you could search more into it, into understanding what a direct public offering is, but I won't explain it because I don't want to spend too much time giving you guys definitions of every single thing we check, because it will be a long stream, and I want it to be short. This was supposed to be an hour and a half. I think we're more than an hour here. Look, hour 43. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be honest. We'll probably spend here to like about another hour, unfortunately. But this is all free for you guys, anyways. You guys could look back into the stream and take advantage. Anybody who's watching, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the follow, guys. That will help me a lot. And so let's go ahead and continue. So yeah, we won't have this on the list, and so we will have another continuation. We'll have a check of another stock. So let's take that one off, and let's check another one. SHPH. I traded this one a long time ago. SHPH. And so this one had a good move pre-market, but failed the rest of the day. So this is not gonna go on the list as well. This one had a confirmation pullback here, right? And so we put it at this candle. And so, you know, this will be a confirmation breakout right there, and you would have gotten on this stock, and it went up to 18%, as high as 22%. So that's pretty good. You would have got a good profit there. Some people would have waited for the bounce off these levels here, this support level, but it failed to bounce. Unfortunately, it didn't show any clear bounce either. You know, you want to see like a V shape line. All this is a lot of mess here, so that's not a good spot to trade. You want to see some openings, you know, this V shape with an opening in the middle like that. That's how you want to see stocks more clear. See, like this big V shape here, That right there, all this is a support level. I could determine the support level because I could see it clearly here, this V shape. And so um that's kind of it for it. Let's check if it did have some news, why it went up that high. And it doesn't have no news. It didn't show any news. The recent news was that Utah approved AI prescription drugs. So AI prescription drugs, you heard that? I've never heard that before. So that's crazy. So I guess that's a new sector, right? That's a new product here, AI prescription. So hear that, you know, when a lot of companies are mentioning the same thing, AI prescription drugs or something like that, often every week, every month, even for the rest of the year, then that's a hot sector there. But in the meantime, I don't know. This is the first time I hear that, but I guess it's an approval, of this product. The state approved this product in their market, so that's good news. So let's go ahead and go to the next stock. So that was the reason why this went up here. And so BTTC is the next one. BTTC. And so right here is another stock that's not gonna be on the list. But it did had a okay move, not great. This right here I wouldn't determine anything here. The only spot right here would have been right here, because you have a confirmation pullback right here and a confirmation pullback also over here. And the highest point is this green candle right here. So, but the stock after that move, it just collapsed. It collapsed, gave away almost most of the shares. And so unfortunately, it's not going to be a continuation for the stock. On the daily, it shows that it had a move, an interesting move here. It had pretty interesting moves, but it shows history that it gives it up. It doesn't hold, it doesn't run. So that's recent news here. So that's not good to see. So yeah, this one is not gonna go on the list. Let's check the next one. Pola. And so Pola was running on after hours, but gave back most of it, and it was just consolidating around these areas here near the VWAP line. And so right here, my point of breakout point would have been over here at pre-market, which is the highest point out of all this after hours and pre-market sessions. And it had a confirmation pullback. So that right there would have been my level of breakouts for the breakout. And so right here, I would have took a little small loss, but got back right on the horse. Could have, this one is a little bit more complicated, more complex. But I mean, you could have took a little profit here, 17%, or if you would have bought and hold, be tolerant. Yeah, around 17%, everything, but it didn't hold enough to bounce off this level of support. It did a little bounce. You could have probably profit here, 6%. That's not much, but it would have hit the goal. It would have hit the goal. You would have bought it somewhere, after the confirmation here. Now, this candle was not as strong as the previous red candle, the last recent red candle. Not even this one. So that's a good indication that it's weak. It's still weak. And that's why it went down like this. And you will only see these moves if there's a wall of sellers out here with big pending orders with that will you will only see it on the level 3 and the level 4. That's why this thing turned around and hasn't looked back up yet. And so it closed a week. It also closed week, so this one is out of the list. And let's see why it went up today, if it does show something. So so it didn't have no news. The recent news was last year on November. It says receive a purchase order for motor electric vehicle fast chargers. So it's an EV news. That EV news is a little bit more already. It's a little bit too old news, not in terms of that news, in terms of like the sector. That's already, it's already been talked about for so many years already. So it's not, it doesn't hype up too much, and so in terms of EV, you have to look at the big guys, which is Tesla and stuff like that. Anything that Elon Musk you know pushes out into the news that might be a new product or anything like that. Those are the things to have to focus to see if this stock reacts to it. But we'll go to the next one. This one is out of the list. TWG is another stock I've traded before. TWG. And so this one had a good move, but it didn't hold. Very short term, no confirmation pullback. I wouldn't traded this one today. That's the breakout level. And that's just the good thing about this platform, especially if you just sign up, for free. You could, any marks that you put on the charting, it stays there, saved. It just saves there, and whenever you sign up again and check the stock, it's that line. It didn't went nowhere, so it's a good thing to have, like a reference point and stuff like that. So let's go to the next one. We could check the reason why it went up, if it doesn't have any. Today it says Caviar Seller Top Wealth Group, which is TWG, strikes $125 million deal to expand into fine wine. This is huge deal, huge contract. This is good news. However, it did react great, right? It did react great, right? It start off, it went all the way to 223%. That's awesome. Whoever would have capitalized on that would have been perfect. I mean, for me, there was no opportunities because I didn't see no confirmation pullback, and I like trading breakouts. However, there was opportunity because you could have got on a little smaller time frame and you would have seen this way more clear, right? And you would have caught in here this confirmation pullback right here, right? And you would have got in right here on this next candle, right? Which is a confirmation breakout right here, and you would have got in a little profit there, 25%. But this is the 1 minute chart. I don't trade the 1 minute chart. I mean, most traders out there, they would trade, especially day traders, they would trade at a 1 minute chart. Now me, I'm very I'm desperate, but I'm like not desperate, that's not the word. I'm impatient, very impatient. And me on the 5 minute, I can see more clear the chart, but I'm like a snake. I just get in, get out, and I'm out. Take my bite and put my teeth out. I'm like that. I don't want to spend too much time waiting for the stock to pull back, not to pull back, to like turn around and all that. If you're in the stock, I don't have time for that. I want to take advantage of the move. If I'm here and a breakout and I get on the candle, I wait for a little bit for it to go to my goal, which is 5% or 10%, and I'm out. If it hits somewhere around here and I don't see um I don't see more buyers on the level 2 or the level 3, I'm out. I'm not gonna wait for it to keep going high. It could turn around me and bite me, so that's big news. That's a contract news. So since it's a contract news, if this stock could have hold these highs right here, for sure it would attract some buyers, and this could have been another continuation move, but it gave back all of its gains. I guess people was not that interested in it. And it had a 49 million volume, in the float very low, 1 million. Compared to the average was 2 million. So this stock did a really good move, very, very good move. So all these stocks had good moves, all of them. They didn't. The only thing is that all of them didn't finish well. All of them had a poor finishing. And so let's check a can. We'll check 2 more and we're done with the stocks, because I'm not gonna check under that. There might be some type of opportunity, but yeah, this one ran 2 days. This one is consolidating at the lows right there. It had a couple green days, not good to see. This one had 2 green days, but it seems like it didn't had a lot of fluctuation move. And so these 2 are the next ones. So Akan, let's check Akan really quick. And so Akan finished strong today. We might see something on this one to analyze. So it did had this move right here. Oh wow, let's see. It says here, Akan Corp announced a 7 million convertible note offering with institutional investors involving 12-month notes. Closing expected January 21. Ooh, this might attract some buyers. So that's good news. That right there is good news. So they're trying to get money. Now the offering, I'm a little worried about the offering, but it's part of gathering news from for some investors. Not gathering news, gathering money from investors and stuff. So volume 33 million, which is good. Average very low. Shares float very low, 2 million. Is that the only news that this thing had? Let's see. Yeah, that was the news right there. So when a company is asking for an offering, they're desperate, and it's not good news overall. But somehow when it's trying to, get money from investors and trying to, recoup some money, that's when it's good to do like very short-term opportunities to take advantage of the stock. But as soon as you that's why you have to have a goal, a strategy, because as soon as you get in, you have to get out very fast. It shouldn't be a long-term investment on this stock. I wouldn't recommend nobody. Look at that. Overall, no good. Had a bunch of stock splits to the earnings. No, this is a almost dead company, and it's at $1.80. If it hits below $1, they might get a notification of delistment from NASDAQ. And the delisting notification is very key important, because if the stock doesn't listen, they might get delisted out of the market, and they will enter into the OTC markets. And so, you know, they have to pay attention. That's why they release this news here. And so yeah, that's kind of the news. Uh, we'll have it on our list for analysis. I can. Good price. It's still above $1, so it's still good. Good volume, which is 33 million. A low float, which is good. Had news. I won't put too much details on the news, but I just put had news. And overall chart, not great, but has history of running. And stock close strong. Plan would be for let me mark the. So this is a confirmation pullback right there, and this is the high of the day, high of day, right? And this was high pre-market, high pre-market. So and this is the low of day. You could mark this as a support line, and these are resistant line. It did broke out once, but it was weak, and so this one counts as a new resistance. But this also has a resistance. It became a resistance back again once it bounced down again, and it looks like it's reacting off the VWAP. So it might get tested to pre-market tomorrow. But if volume shows up, then we might see another good move up top. Will be a good opportunity for a breakout or a breakout bounce off the resistance level. So would be for it to break out or wait for a breakout bounce off the support levels at 224. And so this is how you write your watch list right here. This is how you put it together. You don't have to. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your personal preference. Like you could write whatever you want. This is how I do it. More simple, very simple. I keep it short. Don't write too much. If I write too much, it's because I'm following the stock for a couple days. But overall, I don't. Analyze. I just put analyze. But yeah, that's how you put them together. And so the next one we're gonna check is the SDST, which is the last one. I don't see a lot of opportunity there. SDST. We'll check it, but yeah, it failed. I just saw a little bit of the previous there. Yeah, not good. It's still consolidating off the lows, so not good to see that stock do that move like that. So sorry about that, guys. I just got my food. My wife brought me some food, so sorry about that, guys. I don't know if you guys could hear me. There you go. You could hear me. I don't know if I should take an intermission and continue with the stocks. Well, we already done with the stocks because that was pretty much it. That last one, I'm not gonna look at the other ones because I already explained what happened. But this is how you find them. You know, this is how you find them. That was the main purpose of why we make these streams every day from Monday to Friday, to show you guys how to find these. And that's the most important thing. But this is the stock section. Now we're gonna hop into the crypto. And so I don't know if you guys could, bear with me for a couple minutes for me to finish my food, or I could do a part 2 tomorrow. It's probably gonna be a very short video because I could probably do like a part 2 video on this and do a new scan for both stocks. Trust me, I'm not gonna I won't talk much, because once I get talking, that's when time gets very fast. And so I don't want to put in too much time talking too much. If you guys have any other questions, then I'll answer them as much as I can. But for the meantime, um this is pretty much it, guys. I'm not sure if I'm gonna let me you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to find the crypto, but I'm not gonna be able to write down any of them. Or if I write them down, then we'll analyze them the next day, together with the other ones. But tomorrow is probably gonna be a very fast day. So let's do this really quick. So CoinMarketCap is the website that we use, right? Out of There's so many, and I have on Discord a lot of webs that you could use to find your crypto. But if you want to use this one, it's fine. So you go to CoinMarketCap. If you don't see this screen right here that I'm seeing, hit this title right here. Hit the title and it's gonna take you to the screen. Next thing you want to do is hit the filter, which is right here. Very, very simple filter, a box. And just like I do with the stocks, I want to focus on market cap. Now this one is a little bit different. I want to focus on market cap between 1 million and 10 million. That's my preference. Another is volume. I want to focus on volume that is, just like I said before, over 1 million, but not more than 100 million. Okay, guys? And percent change, I focus, when it comes to percent change, I focus over 20%. But for the sake of the stream, we're gonna put here 10%, because we could see more extra crypto that might move as well. And 500% is the max. And so you click apply, right? And so right here we have one page, and we want to sort out from 24-hour or percentage, right? And right here we got plenty of crypto here. Now this one, Doge, I see too much. It looked like it has something, but it's all this mess. I don't like to see that in the stock. This right here is not real. It's just a glitch from the charting. So I don't like to see that. It's not clear. You can have a hard time determining where the price is gonna go. So that one is out of my list. We're gonna do all the way to 20. So I'm gonna check this one by one really quick. Trading view, and this one had a great move. Very, very good move. We can analyze this one, Hannah. So I'm gonna write Hannah down. And so we also gonna analyze Rismas really quick. But let's write Hannah. So let's put the date of today, 2026, and it's 8/12. 812. Okay, continue. And let's change this date here to 20. 812. And so Hannah is one that we gotta check, which is Hannah Network. Hannah Network. The next one, Milk, which is Milkway. So Milkway had a little bit of bounces, but it's already the back end of the move. I mean, already had a move before. So this is gonna continue to go down. So this one is not to see. Gabe. Let's check Gabe pretty quick. So Gabe, damn, that was a big drop right there. That was a huge drop. So it has to eventually, it has to well, it doesn't have to, but if it breaks out eventually out the resistance lines here at 62.53, it has to fill the gap. You know, right now it doesn't seem like it's doing that, but it is turning around. It had a little run here for these couple days. So we'll analyze that one, Gabe. So Gabe is the next one. What I just did. Oh, okay. So let's separate that. If we need to put this one down, we put it down. Okay. So what's the next one? Let's check the next one really quick. So we got two more to go. So TRWA is the next one. So TRWA had a couple moves, you know, here and there. It has its fluctuation. Now it's on a uptrend. It had a this is a stair stepping pattern. So has opportunities. It did have weakness up here, up the highs. Not sure if it's gonna do a continuation after this drop. But we'll analyze it. TRWA. And the company is Tarwa. So we got that. And so let's check more. What else we got? Is this one right here. PRAI is the last one of today for crypto. And so, I mean, overall not great. It does have its moves here and there. It does have a little history. Now it's been running for a bit, you know. It needs to pull back eventually, like what it did here. It needs to do some type of move like this. So we have to analyze a little bit more of this one. So not sure if it's gonna meet. There's a lot of resistance here. So you got a lot of resistance here. This price, if it pulls back a couple days and then turns around, we might see some big move here. Try to break out these levels of resistance. All this is an overhead resistance level. So this right here, very doubtful. We'll put it on watch too. We'll have this on watch. So PRAI, which is Privacia. Privacia AI. So we'll have that on watch. And so we're done, guys. Rismas. Rismas. Let's check Rismas. This is the last one we're gonna check. Rismas. Because I gotta eat. I don't want my food to be cold. Oh, WZ and mass. I did it wrong. Mass. Crypto. Okay, guys. So after a long week that we've been analyzing this guy, today it failed to hold these levels here. So unfortunately, this guy is going down. It's not holding the highs anymore. Once it broke these resistance levels here, with the support level, I'm sorry, this level became resistance, and so it tried to test highs, but I guess the overhead resistance hold this price down, so that's not good to see. It's not good to see. So yeah, that's not good to see. So look, we're gonna go ahead and take the Rismas off. It was a good run that it had, but it didn't hold above the support level, so that one is getting off. I have to, can I drop this one down, or can I pull it back up? Let's see. Oh, I can pull it back up. Okay, so good. So now we have it organized. We don't have a lot of information here. And Akon was the only one that, out of all those stocks, that had great moves to study. This one has, looks like there could be some type of continuation. That's if price shows up. Price needs to, volume needs to show up. So let me write that up. Volume needs to show up for this move to happen. So that's the extra that I'm gonna write down there. This right here, I'm gonna copy paste to my Discord. So guys, if you guys want to see this information and don't want to go back on the stream or whatever, this is gonna be posted on Discord. I'm gonna do it right now as we are on stream. So day trading watch list. So it's gonna be in the day trading watch list section, and I put it there. And then for the crypto, I'm just gonna copy paste. I'm gonna copy paste what I have on my documents. For analysis, crypto day trading watch list, and it's gonna be paste, and it's already there. So anybody that is looking to can be have been truncated. Okay, so yeah, guys, anybody that wanna support over there on Discord, you guys can. If you guys need more information, there is a lot of resources there for crypto and stocks. So this is pretty much it, guys. I know, I'm sorry, it's a long video, but I had to, put whatever that I know, key things that you guys, I believe that you guys should have known, should know. And so I couldn't put it aside. So let's go ahead and take you to the other screen really quick. So we're done with Rismas. Save this one and let's get out of here. Boom. Let's take it to finish. Okay, guys. So this is pretty much it, guys. I know it's been a long video. Today we discuss stocks, and we also discuss crypto. And I appreciate those who ask questions on the Twitch. It's not obligated to follow me, but if you guys could hit the follow, that would be appreciated. And the like as well for the stream. Any questions or anything like that, I will do my best to answer it. I don't focus on large cap stocks. So that those things like that, I'm not that competent, because I don't do like fundamental analysis. I do know a little bit about it, but I don't focus too much on it. I focus on the low price stocks, what moves very, very fast in short period of time. And so I I'm already out of voice, so I can't speak too much. But I appreciate every single one of you guys that pass by and show support, not only viewing the stream, but also hitting the like and the share or the repost as well. And remember also, those who have followed me, they will be mentioned after the month end. Probably the day of the last day of the month. I will be mentioning the list of those that follow me on January. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you guys also are content creators, don't forget to hit me up. I'll do my best to share your content on my platform on X, so that not only I could see it, but many other people on the social media could see it as well, and that will help you to get more in your channel. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a good afternoon, good night for some of you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday. Alrighty, guys, have a good one.